As of July 16, 2024, Western military experts from numerous analytical centers admitted that Russian troops had increased their pressure on the positions of the armed forces of Ukraine in the Kharkiv and Toretsk directions of the front. In particular, fierce fighting is observed in the central part of Volchansk and the central part of the settlement of New York. By the way, today, Ukrainian war correspondents admitted that the situation of the armed forces of Ukraine in the settlement of New York is close to critical. It is reported that Russian units managed to completely take control of a significant area of territory southwest of New York, and gain a foothold in the southern and central part of this urban-type settlement. The Ukrainian armed forces are well aware that if they surrender New York to Russian troops, the situation of the grouping of the Ukrainian army located in Toretsk will deteriorate significantly. According to war correspondents, in order to completely capture New York, the Russian troops must establish control over the phenolic plant. It is reported that at the moment, Russian troops are attacking this plant almost continuously, trying to outflank and surround it. In addition, Russian combat aviation continues to drop dozens of guided aerial bombs of the Fab family at this plant. In the last 24 hours alone, Russian troops have used about 70 heavy-duty aerial bombs against the positions of the armed forces of Ukraine. In this fresh footage, it is clearly visible how Russian guided aerial bombs of the Fab family are literally erasing the phenolic plant from the face of the earth. Commenting on this situation, even pro-Ukrainian Western experts admitted that the armed forces of Ukraine will not be able to resist for a long time, and that they will have to surrender New York in the coming days. In the Kharkiv direction of the front, in the city of Volchansk, the situation of the armed forces of Ukraine also continues to deteriorate rapidly. According to war correspondents, as of July 16, 2024, Russian troops continue to fight their way to Metallista Street, in order to reach the bridge over the river. It is reported that if the Russians manage to gain a foothold in this area, it will force the remaining units of the armed forces of Ukraine to retreat across the Volkhya River, as a result of which the entire northern part of the city of Volchansk will be under the full control of the Russian army. At the same time, war correspondents note that the armed forces of Ukraine have completely exhausted their offensive momentum, and are now forced to build fortifications in the vicinity of Volchansk. However, this does not mean that the Ukrainian army has completely switched to the defensive in Volchansk. Separate groups of the armed forces of Ukraine are still trying to attack Russian positions in this city. Despite heavy losses in manpower, the Ukrainian army still has a sufficient number of soldiers in this sector of the front. Moreover, Russian war correspondents confirm that the Ukrainian army is accumulating forces for a decisive attack on the northern part of the city of Volchansk. This assault is being prepared from the village of Tykoy, located east of Volchansk. However, the Volkhya River prevents the armed forces of Ukraine from launching an assault on Volchansk from the east. In addition, Russian artillery and operators of FPV drones do not allow the armed forces of Ukraine to even approach the Volkhya River from the east. In general, war correspondents admit that all attempts by the armed forces of Ukraine to attack Russian positions do not bring any results. Even the Ukrainian Telegram channels stated that despite all attempts to remedy the situation, the Ukrainian armed forces never were able to seize the initiative in Volchansk. In addition, on July 14, information appeared that after massive bombing raids against a forest area west of the village of Sinelnikovo, Russian troops expanded the bridgehead on the left bank of the Seversky Donets River, and took control of almost all positions of the armed forces of Ukraine. Russian troops' advance in this front sector was 400 meters. All this indicates that the Russian army has begun the process of encircling the southern part of the city of Volchansk. Now, the Ukrainian High Military Command must make a difficult choice to continue attacking the positions of Russian troops in the northern part of Volchansk, or try to eliminate a new threat in the southwestern part of this settlement. In Chasiv Yar, the situation of the Ukrainian army also continues to worsen with each passing hour. After taking control of the Canal microdistrict, Russian troops forced the armed forces of Ukraine to retreat behind the Seversky Donetsk-Donbass water channel. According to war correspondents, Russian troops continue to destroy the last points of resistance of the armed forces of Ukraine. It is reported that Chasiv Yar is under constant fire from Russian artillery systems that work 15-20 hours a day. By the way, German military experts from the publication ZDF Height said that the failures of the armed forces of Ukraine on the battlefield are due to the fact that the Ukrainian General Staff and NATO still tend to underestimate the effectiveness of Russian ballistic missiles and reconnaissance drones. According to German experts, the Ukrainian army has been trying to strengthen its defensive lines since 2022. However, Russian ballistic missiles and the effective operation of reconnaissance drones do not allow Ukrainians to build powerful defensive lines and deter the advance of Russian troops. Meanwhile, the main coordinator of the partisan movement in Ukraine, Sergei Lebedev, referring to the Kharkiv partisans, said that on July 14, a new group of 60-70 French and Canadian mercenaries had arrived in Kharkiv. Kharkiv partisans claimed that there were also women and a large number of dark-skinned militants among the mercenaries. It is reported that they all communicated with each other in French. Surprisingly, the next day, after the appearance of this information, on the night of July 15, the Russian military launched a missile attack on Kharkiv. It is reported that at least 3 ISKANDER ballistic missiles hit the place of the deployment of the personnel of the armed forces of Ukraine and foreign mercenaries in the northwestern part of the city. In addition, several weapons depots were also hit and destroyed. Unfortunately, as of July 16, 2024, there is no accurate data on the number of victims among Ukrainian, Canadian, and French militants. However, local partisans claim that the number of victims can be very high, since almost all rescuers, fire services, and ambulances arrived at the site of the missile hit.